How's it going, guys? Derek Howler here, unrealliving.com. Today I just wanted to tell you guys a couple little stories that I hope will inspire you on your journey of personal growth and health. While I was in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, I was watching TV one night and I was watching National Geographic, and they were doing this documentary on all these animals that live in very unforgiving, basically terrain. And they were doing this special on this one parakeet that lives in a volcano in the Andes Mountains in Venezuela. And if you can imagine a bird that lives in a volcano, seems pretty crazy. And what I found most fascinating about this story is how the parakeet learns how to fly. Because if you imagine a volcano, and by the way, it's an active volcano, it's not just a dormant one, it's an active volcano. A volcano is basically, it's like a big bowl almost. And so along the sides, it's a rock face. There's not a lot of trees or anything like that, because it's an active volcano for one. So I mean, it's just basically a rock face. And so this parakeet actually, it grows up and lives in the rock face in this volcano. And now a typical bird that lives in trees anywhere else in the world learns how to fly by flying branch to branch to branch on the tree that it has basically been nested in. But this parakeet doesn't really have that. It doesn't really have that luxury. It has a rock face. So when it learns how to fly for the very first time, this parakeet has to basically jump off the rock face and learn how to fly, or else it dies, because it'll just plummet right down to the bottom. And so I found this story really fascinating because I related to it a lot with how I've kind of gone about jumping into new adventures, I guess you could say. When I was living in Ontario in Canada, I grew up just a few hours from Toronto in a city called London, Ontario. And I was working as an electrician there. I'd already dropped out of university. I did 2 years of mechanical engineering in university, dropped out of that, decided I wanted to do something a little bit more hands-on, so I was working as an electrician for over 3 years, and it was just one day I was driving to work. I was just like, I was just so fucking like annoyed with like how my life was, right? Because I'd been studying personal development since I was about 19 years old, and I was 24 at the time, so about 5 years. So I've been studying personal development, and nothing really kind of happened. Nothing really happened in my life. I didn't make any kind of big change in my life. And so I was kind of pissed off. And while I was driving to work one day, or I was driving home, I can't remember, it doesn't matter. I was driving to or from work, and I was just like, man, at this time I'd been thinking about moving out west for a while, out to British Columbia, the west coast of Canada. I'd been thinking about it for a while, and I was just like, you know what, let's just do it. Like, I'm young, I have a car, I have enough money to do it, let's do it. So from that point on, I think it was probably about 6 weeks from that time until I actually left. 1 month from when I was leaving, I told my boss, I'm like, in 1 month's time, I'm out of here. Now, when I moved out west, I didn't have a job. I didn't have a place to live. The only thing that I had was I was able to stay with my friends Tara and Ryan for I think a week and a half, 2 weeks, until they kicked me out. And so when I went out there, all I had was my car, whatever I could fit into my car. I had some money, and I had a place to stay for a little short amount of time. Within that 2 weeks that I was there, I'd basically been inspired about a business to create for myself, and I also, mosquitoes are everywhere here in Thailand, and I had found a house sit for 5 months. So I had found a place to live for 5 months, completely rent-free, and I'd also been inspired about a way to make money within 2 weeks of moving out there. Now, when I went out there, I had no idea that any of these things existed. So I had no idea about house sitting, and I had no idea about fundraising money by doing bottle drives. And that's how I actually raised a lot of money for this cycle tour that I'm on right now. So that time in British Columbia turned out to be a great growth experience, because I basically proved to myself that you can go out and just do whatever you want. And you don't need to have a plan. You can have an idea of a plan, but you don't need a concrete plan. I brought my electrician's tools with me, mainly because they're worth a lot of money, but I brought them with me, just in case, right? But I didn't want to go back to doing the job that I didn't really like doing. During that time that I was in British Columbia, I got the idea for the cycle tour, and the cycle tour through Southeast Asia. Now, I've never cycle toured in my life, and up until actually leaving for Vietnam, I'd really only cycled my bicycle for about 4 months, and I was doing about 100 kilometers a week. And coming here, I was planning on doing anywhere between 300 to 400 kilometers a week. Now, cycle touring is like anything else. You learn how to do it, right? You start small, and then you gradually kind of build yourself up to something very measurable in terms of a cycle tour. Now, basically my only cycle touring experience before I came out here was the 400 kilometers that I rode from Campbell River on Vancouver Island all the way into Vancouver. And that was and looking back, it's such an easy place to cycle tour, because I had places to stay every night. I'd basically locked in places to stay with friends. Food is easy to get there. Raw food is easy to get. Dried fruits, super easy. So I mean, that wasn't really a test or anything like that. That was just like a walk in the park. That was so easy. So coming here to Vietnam, I had a map, I had a translation book, I had a hammock tent, and I had to gear a bunch of clothes and stuff like that. But I had no experience cycle touring. None, even nothing comparable to what I was about to do. But now, I'm all the way here in Thailand, so I rode through Vietnam, rode through Cambodia, I've rode about a few hundred kilometers here through Thailand, and I'm still here. I'm still alive. I'm not dead yet. I haven't been eaten by a snake or attacked by stray dogs here in Thailand. It hasn't happened yet. And it's been an amazing growth experience. But it's just about going back to that story about the parakeet. In order to be able to learn how to fly, sometimes you have to take that unforgiving jump off the cliff. And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it's scary. Sometimes you kind of get wrapped up into the how things are gonna happen. How is it gonna happen? But if you stick to the what and the why, what are you gonna do and why are you gonna do it? Then the how naturally happens. So whenever I'm focusing on visions, goals, something that I want to do in the future, I focus on the what, I focus on the why. I don't focus on how it's going to happen. I want to keep myself open to any possibilities on how something might happen. But first, you have to know the what, the why. Then you have to take a jump off the cliff and just go for it. You don't always know that there's going to be a net at the bottom of the cliff, but there always will be. If you want a net to be at the bottom of the cliff that you're going to figuratively jump off. Hopefully not realistically, because that might be weird. Anyways, guys, I hope that's an inspiring story for you guys. Coming up next, I'm going to Australia, so we're taking another jump off the cliff. I don't have a place to stay there. Well, I do. I have a place to stay there with a friend who I just randomly met on Facebook, Nick. He's gonna let me stay there for a few weeks. And the other thing is, I don't have a place, I don't have a job there. And he just mentioned to me, oh, I can teach waitering and I can get you a job with a catering company. And I was like, sweet. But I'd already made this decision a while ago that I was going to go to Australia. I made that decision that I was gonna go. I knew why I wanted to go there. I knew what I was doing. So the what was going to Australia. The why was to make money and have a good time. And there's an ant on the camera lens. And hey, off of there, off of there. And I didn't know how the how was gonna happen. No idea. Blind faith. Everything's gonna work out just perfectly fine for me. So my rest of the time in Thailand, I don't have to stress out of it. Anyways, guys, hope that's an inspiring story for you. It's just something that I've really kind of started to live my life by, is just to jump into things head first. It's like it's like if you're going into the ocean, right? Like, do you tippy toe into the ocean? No, you jump into the fucking ocean. You jump in there. Even though it's freezing cold, you jump your ass in there and you just go with it. You go with it, guys. Anyways, hope you like this video. Hope you guys do something awesome with your life. I mean, it's crazy to think of where I was a year ago, where I am now. I'm in some abandoned banana shack here in Thailand because I just got rained out in the rain while I was riding my bike here. And I just thought I would share you guys a cool story today. Anyways, please share, like, subscribe on my videos here. Leave your comments and questions below. If you have any cool stories about you taking, that ant is still just running around on my GoPro here. If you have any cool stories about interesting adventures that you've gone on, or anything like that you want to leave it down below. I think it would help inspire other people to make great growth experiments in their life. Anyways, guys, hope you guys are having a great day. Keep it unreal, baby. And remember, take a jump. Take a jump, baby. Talk to you guys super soon. Bye-bye.